So hi friends, welcome to the Ekatra family. So this is the another method of breeding for the secondary generations. So sorry. So I have already told regarding the methods of breeding to handle the segregating generations. So for segregating generations, we have three methods. So now for segregating generation, you know segregating generation. Segregating generation means the F2, F3 onwards. These are the segregating generations. And as we know, segregating generations, to handle them, there are three methods. Already I have told. Okay, three methods. One is pedigree method. Another is bulk method. And another is, now we will study the backcross method. Backcross method. Okay. So now in pedigree method and bulk method, what I have taken parent 1 and parent 2. Then we have found the F1. Then going for sampling F2. Then F3. Bulk method is also same. Parent 1 crossed with parent 2. Then go for F1. Then go for F2. Then go for F3. Then go for likewise. Okay, but the basic difference here you can say whatever the variety I will get, in pedigree method, then here the parent will contribute 50% and parent 2 will also contribute 50%. Yes or no? Yes. Likewise, if I will see in case of bulk method, here also whatever the variety will be released, here parent 1 can contribute 50%, parent 2 is also contributing 50%. So in this case, the most important thing is that selection of the parent. In both cases, parent, pedigree as well as bulk method. The difference in pedigree method is that from F2 onwards, we have gone for individual plant progeny selection. But in case of bulk method, from F2 onwards, first we have gone for bulk method of selection or bulk method of harvesting. Okay, I am again saying for pedigree method, from F2 onwards, we have gone for the artificial selection. That means individual plant progeny selection. But from F2 onwards, first we will go for bulk method of harvesting, where no superior genders will be taken. So here natural selection will be there. Your artificial selection we have done. Okay. So this is the basic difference between pedigree and bulk method. Okay. So now coming to the backcross method. Backcross. So first of all, we have to know what do you mean by backcross. One is backcross. What do you mean by backcross? So as I know, one is parent 1 and another is parent 2. So I will get the F1, yes or no? If this is capital T, this is small t, then I will get the heterozygous condition F1 generation. This is capital T and small t. Okay. So, if now there are two types of cross are there, one is back cross and another is test cross. So, the difference, what is the difference? So now if F1 will be crossed with any of the parent, if F1 or segregating generation F2, F3, F1, this F2 can be crossed, this F3 can be crossed. Okay. So in case of back cross, what I have done here, in back cross, if F1 or segregating generation means F2, F3, if F1 or segregating generations are crossed with भी हम देख सकते हैं F1 का पेरेंट कौन है, P1 एंड P2, बट F2 का पेरेंट कौन है, F2 का पेरेंट है F1, F3 का पेरेंट कौन है, F2. Okay, so it may be F1 or it may be F2 or it may be F3. We will cross all those generations with the parent of the F1 plant, that is P1 and P2. Okay, parent of the F1 plant, not the parent of the F2. Who is the parent of F2? Parent of F2 is F1. So basically the thing is that if I will cross the F1 or F2 or F3 any generation with the parent of F1, that is P1 and P2, then this is known as the back cross. Okay. Then what do you mean by test cross? Now if I will tell you, test cross means if here the F1 is only crossed with recessive parent, this is the recessive parent. Recessive parent, then it will be called as test cross. Okay, if the F1, so I can say here this is parent 1, this is parent 2, this is capital T, this is small t, and the zygote will be capital T, small t, which is the F1. If F1 is only crossed with a test cross, if F1 is crossed only with the recessive parent, then this is known as the test cross. But if it is crossed with both dominant parent as well as recessive parent, then this is called as the back cross. Okay. So here I can say all test cross is a back cross. Yes or no? All test cross is a back cross because here the F1 will be multiplied with the recessive parent, but it is a parent, hence all the test cross is a back cross, but all back cross are not test cross, because in back cross we can multiply the F1 with the dominant parent, so it is not a test cross. Okay, so all test cross are back cross, but all back cross are not test cross. So this is the basic concept. So what will happen in basic concept, I will say. So here, what do you mean by back cross? So basic thing is that now let us, this is parent 1, now this is parent 2. So for a point of understanding, I am taking an example. What do you mean by back cross? It will be easy to understand. Okay. So let us take a glass. Let us take a glass. This is glass 1. This is glass 2. This is glass 2. Now pour some red water. Pour some red water to glass 1 and pour some yellow water. Pour some yellow water to the glass 2. So this is glass 1, this is 1, this is glass 2. This is the red water, this will be the yellow water. Okay, so now if I first what I will do, I will mix both of these. So if I will mix both of these, now I will get 50%, I will get 50% red water and 50% yellow water. Yes or no? Again what will happen? This is here. Again what will happen? Now I will take another yellow water. Okay? Then multiply both. Then what will happen? Then I will get Again I will cross with yellow water. Again I will cross with yellow water. Now I will get what I will get. Okay. So here you can see here that now the red water, what will happen is this is red, this is yellow. Now here 50% is red. Then I can say 50% is red and 50% is yellow. 50% is yellow. Yes or no? In fast test. But as I am diluting, अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं, जो आधा रेड कलर है आधा येलो कलर है, तो अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं, जो भी येलो वाटर है हम फिर से मिलाएंगे. तो फिर से मिलाने के बाद क्या हो जाएगा, जो रेड पोर्शन है वो क्या हो जाएगा, डिक्रीज हो जाएगा. जो रेड पोर्शन है वो डिक्रीज हो जाएगा एंड येलो पोर्शन क्या हो जाएगा, इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. Again go for addition of the yellow water, then what will happen? Again the red component will decrease and yellow component will increase. So what will happen at last what I will get? At last I can say this is the, I can write this is the yellow water with a little red component. Yes or no? So I can write this glass of water is similar with this glass of water. Yes or no? Only except the some red color. These both are similar. These both glass are similar. Only the red color is there. Only little red color is there. Yes or no? So likewise, this is known as the back cross. So what will happen in back cross? Parent 1, this will be parent 1, this will be the parent 2. Then whatever the variety I will get, the variety is almost similar to the parent, only except the one gene. Okay? I think this is very easy to understand. So in back cross what will happen? Remember, in back cross what will happen? The variety is almost similar to the parent. Which parent? This is the recipient parent. Recipient parent. Okay? This is the recipient parent. And if I will say, but the variety is the gene of the variety, if I will say the gene of the variety is almost similar to the gene of the recipient parent, except the gene of interest. Gene of interest. Or except one gene. I can say except one gene, the variety gene is known as is similar to the recipient gene. Here I can say only except some red colors, all other water are yellow water. Okay. Likewise, whatever the variety will be released, the variety is almost similar with the recipient parent. Okay. So here if I will say, now this variety and recipient parent are called as nearly isogenic lines. NIL. I can say here nearly isogenic lines. Isogenic lines means all genes are similar. Let this is variety A, this is variety B. Isogenic lines means the gene of A is almost similar to the gene of B. This is known as isogenic line. Nearly isogenic line means the gene of A is similar to the gene of B except 1 to 2 genes. All other genes remain same. This is known as nearly isogenic lines. So Beckman's method is used to develop the nearly isogenic lines. So this is the basic concept. Okay. So now let us move to the topic directly. So now what is our aim? So before going to Beckman's method, we have to know two things. going to know two things. One is parent. As I told, parent 1, another is parent 2. So out of these two parent, one parent I have already told the variety is similar to the one parent. Let this is parent 2. If the variety is similar to the parent 2, that I can say the parent 2 is known as recipient parent. Remember, the parent 2 is known as recipient parent. Parent 1 is known as the donor parent. Okay. Again, I can say here this is the recurrent parent. Recurrent parent. I will say why it is called recurrent, because it is used in back cross. It is used in back cross. The parent which is used in back cross is known as the recipient parent or recurrent parent. Okay. This is known as, it is repeatedly, it is recurrent, means repeatedly. It is repeatedly crossed with the progenies. But donor parent is not non-recurrent. It is non-recurrent. So it is used only once. It is used only once to supply the gene, to supply the interest which gene I want to take. So to supply the interest gene to the F1 plant. Okay, so donor plant will be used once, but the recipient parent is repeatedly used with the progenies. So this is the basic concept. Okay. So here I will go. Now there is two types of gene. So if I will go for the gene transfer, now I go to the gene transfer. Now I will solve gene transfer. So what do you mean by gene? Gene, there is two types of gene. One is dominant and another is recessive. Okay, dominant means, now in dominant gene, here the gene, or we can say allele, will express itself both in homozygous and heterozygous condition. Okay, example, capital T, another is capital T, small t. So here I can say it is a tall plant. Here it is also tall plant. So here I can say here capital T is dominant over small t. Yes or no? The plant became tall because of the T allele. But here small t is also there, but the plant is tall. That means the capital T is more dominant over the small t. So here you can say the dominant allele. Okay, now coming to the recessive gene. Recessive gene means the allele which express itself only in homozygous condition. This is small t, which is the dwarf. So here the capital T, small t, which is heterozygous condition, and here the expression of the small t is hidden. Here the expression of the small t is hidden, and the expression of the capital T is dominant over the expression of the small t. But in case of here, the small t is expression will be there. So the recessive gene means when if this is in homozygous condition, then it will show its effect. So this is the two things. So now coming to the back-cross method. If I will go to the back-cross method, again if I will write in case of back-cross method, there is two types of back-cross is used for gene transfer. Back-cross, why it is used? It is used for gene transfer. It is used for gene transfer. How much? 1 to 2 gene. Okay. So for here, for understanding purpose, I am going for only 1 gene. Let us we go for 1 gene transfer. Okay. But if it's a pedigree and bulk method, 50% gene transfer will be there. In pedigree and bulk method, I have told 50% gene transfer from one parent to the other. But here only one gene is transferred. Okay. Now this gene may be dominant. This gene may be recessive. This gene may be recessive. Okay. So now I will go one by one. So first of all, I will write here transfer of dominant gene. Transfer of dominant gene. Okay. Here I will go transfer of recessive gene. Okay. So if I will see transfer of dominant gene, then here I can go transfer of dominant gene. So here I can write dominant gene means I have told. Let us give an example. Transfer of dominant gene. So in dominant gene, what will happen in wheat variety? I will take an example. Wheat variety is there. One is Mallavya 12. It is a very high yielding variety, but it is susceptible to leaf rust. It is susceptible to leaf rust. Okay. It is susceptible to leaf rust. But if I will say another variety, which is the sparrow, another variety is sparrow. It is a not high yielding. It is not high yielding variety, but it is resistant to leaf rust. Two varieties are there. One is Mallavya variety, having high yielding variety. What it is? It is susceptible to leaf rust. Another is sparrow. It is not high yielding variety. The yield is very low, but it has the resistant gene, which makes it leaf rust resistant. So now what I will do? I will want to improve the Mallavya variety. Yes or no? So how I will improve? If the least resistant, now I have two. One is Mallavya, another is sparrow. One is sparrow, another is Mallavya. So I know this is a leaf rust resistant gene is there. So if I will transfer the leaf only leaf rust resistant gene to the Mallavya, then Mallavya become high yielding variety and leaf rust resistance. Okay. So initially what happened? The Mallavya is leaf rust susceptible. Leaf rust susceptible. Now as I am transferred the leaf rust resistance genes from sparrow to Mallavya, then it become leaf rust resistant. So this is done by the backcross method, because here if I will multiply it, this is the F1 hybrid, then it will be not high yielding variety, because here 50% the gene come from sparrow and 50% gene come from Mallavya. So it is neither a high yielding variety, and some will be resistant and some will be susceptible. So this is not our desirable character. Our desirable character is high yielding variety and it could be leaf rust resistant. And so the only this gene, only the leaf rust resistant gene will be transferred from sparrow to Mallavya. Okay. So this is the basic thing you want to know. This is the example. Now I will say whether the leaf rust resistant gene is dominant or recessive. Here you just take the example, so that it will be easy to understand. Okay. You see, I am saying that I am saying that the leaf frost resistant disease. Now, leaf frost resistance gene, whether it is dominant, it may be dominant or it may be recessive. Okay, dominant means now there are two alleles are there for leaf frost resistance. One is capital R, one is small r. So if it is dominant, that means if the genotype is capital R, then it will be resistant, leaf frost resistant. If it will be capital R, small r, then it will be also resistant because it is dominant gene. But if it is smaller, then it is susceptible. It is very simple. If capital R will be there, then it will be resistant. If smaller, capital R, smaller will be there, then it is also resistant. If it is smaller, then it is susceptible. Now coming to recessive, I will say the leaf resistant gene is recessive. Then what does it mean? If it is capital R, then here it is susceptible. If it is capital R, smaller, then it is susceptible. If it is smaller, then it is resistant. अभी ये बात समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है, मुझे मत बोलिए। अभी मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि ये दोनों प्लांट है, ये सेम प्लांट नहीं है। दिस इज वन प्लांट, दिस इज another plant. Or you can say this is one case, this is another case. So I am saying that अगर जो लीफ रेजिस्टेंस है ये डोमिनेंट जीन के, जो डोमिनेंट जीन है वो कंट्रोल कर रहा है रेजिस्टेंस को। कौन कंट्रोल कर रहा है? द डोमिनेंट जीन इन दिस केस the dominant gene will control the rust resistance, but in this case the recessive gene will control the rust resistance. Okay, so if the dominant gene will control the rust resistance, then this genotype will be resistant, but if the recessive gene will control the resistance, then this will be resistant. Okay, because I have already told the recessive will express the homozygosity. Recessive gene will express in homozygosity. So here I am saying that the capital R जितना होगा, कैपिटल R जहां पर भी होगा वो क्या हो जाएगा? रेजिस्टेंट हो जाएगा। ये सुन लो, if it is controlled by dominant gene, that means कैपिटल R जहां पे भी होगा वो रेजिस्टेंट हो जाएगा, whether it may be capital R or whether it may be small r. Now in this case I am saying that this small r जो है ये कंट्रोल कर रहा है किसको? जो रेजिस्टेंट है कि नहीं। एक प्लांट रेजिस्टेंट है कि नहीं ये किसके ऊपर डिपेंड कर रहा है? ये डिपेंड्स अपॉन द स्मॉल r and it is a recessive gene. So in this case I have told that रिसेसिव जीन जब होमोजाइगस में होंगे तब जाके ये खुद को एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं। तो स्मॉलर विल बी रेजिस्टेंट। ओके, सो हियर आई कैन से कैपिटल R is responsible for resistance, but small r is responsible for susceptible. Yes or no? Opposite. Here capital R is susceptible. Capital R is responsible to resistant, but here capital R is responsible to susceptible. There are two cases. Capital R जहाँ पे होगा वो resistant हो जाएगा, in this case small r जहाँ पे होगा वो susceptible हो जाएगा। In this case small r जहाँ पे भी होगा वो क्या हो जाएगा? resistant हो जाएगा। Capital R जहाँ पे होगा वो susceptible हो जाएगा। This is the basic thing and the difference between dominant and recessive gene. ओके, अगर कोई डाउट है तो प्लीज कमेंट सेक्शन में बोलिए. ओके, so whether the character is controlled by dominant gene or the character is controlled by recessive gene. Based on this, there are two cases. One is controlled by dominant gene. If it is controlled by dominant gene, then capital R gives resistance, small r gives susceptible. If the character is controlled by recessive gene, then small r will give resistance, capital R will give susceptible. So this is the most important concept. Then it will be easy to understand the transfer of gene. Okay. So let's clear these things. Okay. So let us clear these things. Okay.